Hi, and welcome to the Men on the Path to Love podcast. Why you still repeat relationship patterns even after doing the work episode. I'm Bill Simpson, your host. I coach men who are rebuilding their lives after breakup or divorce, helping them understand their relationship patterns, grow into the best version of themselves, and create deeper love and real connection, showing up differently for the next chapter of their lives, so they can live the life they love. So let me ask you something. What if the reason you're still repeating relationship patterns, even after doing the work, isn't because you're failing, but because you're stepping into a deeper level of growth? Well, here's what's real, man. A lot of men do the work. They do their self-reflection, they journal, they go to therapy, get coaching, they listen to podcasts like this, and then they find themselves right back in a moment thinking, how did I miss this again? Well, if that's you, you're not alone, and you're definitely not broken. As a matter of fact, it's actually very common. And I know I talk about attachment theory a lot, but it's important research to understand. It shows that our early relationship experiences create these subconscious templates or patterns for how we experience love in relationships, how we respond to conflict, and how we interpret emotional events like trauma. And here's the key. Even when you become consciously aware of your patterns, your nervous system and subconscious mind can still react faster than your awareness. And neuroscience backs this up. The amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for detecting threat, can activate in milliseconds, faster than your logical brain can step in. So even if you've done the work, in emotionally charged moments, your system can default to, fixing or solving the problem or shutting down, withdrawing, defending yourself. And it's not because you didn't grow. It's because your brain is trying to protect you using your old programming. I'll touch more on this in a few minutes, but first I want to get real with you here because I've lived this. And I know, man, even after I became aware of my relationship patterns, I still repeated them. That's how strong these subconscious patterns can be. And man, it wasn't until my third divorce that something really started to shift. Not because I suddenly became perfect, but because I became aware faster. And a lot of times, I was able to actually respond differently in real time. And there were plenty of times I didn't, okay? And even now, to this day, this is something I continue to work on. So, if you've caught yourself thinking, man, I've done the work, why is this still happening? It must not work. Well, I want you to hear this clearly. This process is challenging, man. It ain't easy, and it's ongoing. It's a lifelong journey. And the sooner you accept that, the easier it will be. And I gotta say, I see this all the time in the work I do with men. Again, they do the work, they get themselves grounded, they gain self-awareness, they're confident, and then the pattern creeps back in. And I'll just mention one client who I'll call Jason. We had been working together for a few months. He was doing great. Eventually, he met someone he really connected with. I'll call her Jade. And for a while, he was doing everything right. He was noticing his patterns. He would pause before he would react, responding more intentionally, until one day Jane came home from work crying. She had just been laid off a job she loved, a job she had worked incredibly hard for. And Jason, thinking he was being supportive, jumped in really fast and was like, hey, it's going to be okay. You'll find something else. I know someone. I can help you. But he missed it. he didn't hear her. Because Jade didn't need solutions. She just needed to be seen. She cried, she got frustrated, and walked out of the room. Well, when Jason brought this to me, I asked him, "What do you think happened there?" And he said, "Bill, I don't know. I was just trying to help." So I told him what I heard. And I said, "It sounds like you were trying to fix the problem instead of feeling it with her." And he paused and was like, "Damn, how did I not see that?" Because he had been working so hard not to be the fixer, having to solve the problem. And yet there it was again, the pattern. So then I asked him another question. What was happening for you in that moment? Go back to that moment and think about it. And he paused, and then he said something that was really important. He said he got scared. He started thinking about the loss of income, what it meant for their future. And in that moment, he wasn't actually talking to Jade. He was trying to calm his own fear. And because of that, he couldn't see her pain. And once he got that, everything changed. He went back to Jade, he apologized genuinely, and he validated her experience. He acknowledged her disappointment, and he owned his own fear. And that opened the door for a deeper conversation, a chance for them to really connect and figure out a way for them to move forward together. So here's the takeaway from Jason's story. When you don't recognize that internal reaction, the trigger, you unintentionally disconnect from your partner. And I want to say that again, unintentionally. You're not doing it on purpose. But when you become aware of it, you create the opportunity for real connection. Okay, so I mentioned that I would get back to why this keeps happening, even after doing the work. Well, I'm going to give you a few evidence-based reasons. And the first one is understanding that emotional triggers override logic. Yeah, it may not make any sense, but your nervous system reacts before your thinking brain engages. It happens so fast. Another reason is these patterns are actually stored in the body, not just the mind. So having that insight alone in your mind doesn't rewire your behavior. Another reason is stress makes it hard to be aware in the moment. Yeah, man, when you're in it, you're in it. And when you're under pressure, under stress, what we do is default to what's familiar, the old way of reacting instead of responding. And to go along with that, these old ways actually feel safe, okay? Even if they don't serve you or they're unhealthy, your nervous system recognizes them. They're like, yeah, I know how to be that way, so it feels safe, and it goes for it. And again, we're talking split seconds here. No time to really think about it. So now that you know these reasons why, the question is, what can you actually do about it? Well, I have some strategies that do work. The first one is to build your in-the-moment awareness muscle, your mindfulness muscle. Not just reflecting after the fact. I mean, that's all good and well. But in the moment, try to ask yourself, what am I feeling now? What's happening in my body? That kind of thing. Another strategy is to slow down. Pause. Even one breath, man, creates space between reacting the old way and responding the new way. Another thing is to name what's going on inside of you. Try to identify it. Something like, I notice I'm feeling anxious right now, or my heart's racing. And what this does is interrupts the pattern, that automatic pilot pattern, the subconscious pattern. And when you're responding, try to lead with curiosity instead of having to fix or solve the problem. So that would be asking your partner, what are you feeling right now? What do you need from me? How can I support you? Instead of trying to fix it, because they just want to be seen or heard first before you try to solve the problem. And one more thing, when you don't get it right, practice repair. Look, man, you don't have to get it perfect. You just have to come back and reconnect. Don't let it derail you. Just own it and do better next time. So if you're listening to this and you're a guy who's done the work but still sees your pattern showing up, I want you to hear this. You're not broken, man. No, man, you're stepping into a deeper level of growth. And I know, another effing growth moment, right? Who needs that? We all need it. Because this is where real change happens. Not in awareness alone, but in how you show up in the moment. And if you want help getting there, visit my website, manonthepathtolove.com, and check out the resources I have there for you. All right, and that brings us to my quote of the week. It comes from author, teacher, and Buddhist nun Pema Chodron. She says, quote, "Nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know," unquote. And here's what that means for you. If a pattern keeps showing up in your relationships, it's not there to punish you. It's there to teach you something you haven't fully seen yet. And that doesn't mean you haven't done the work. It means there's a deeper layer that only reveals itself in real-life moments. And it's an opportunity to grow instead of seeing yourself as broken or as a failure. All right? So instead of asking yourself, why does this keep happening to me? Try asking yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me about myself? Because that question is where real change begins. And on that note, I will bring an end to this episode of the Men on the Path to Love podcast, the Why You Still Repeat Relationship Patterns Even After Doing the Work episode. I'm Bill Simpson, your host. Thanks for listening. I do appreciate it. Now, as I continue my new series on building a healthy relationship, I want to leave you with this question. If awareness alone isn't enough, what actually creates a healthy relationship that lasts? Well, in the next episode, I'm going to break it down for you. Please join me for the 5 Foundations of a Healthy Relationship That Most Men Aren't Taught episode. And if this episode you're listening to right now hit you in any kind of way and you know someone who needs to hear it, then please share the link and share the love. And until next time, keep your heart open and stay on the path to love.